You know, some of the most powerful messages in history, they're not in books. They're literally carved into massive pillars of stone. And today, we're diving into one of the greatest examples of this, the Orhun Inscriptions.
So, picture this. You're out in the middle of the vast grasslands of Mongolia, in a place called the Orkhon Valley. And rising from the earth are these enormous stones. When they were found by the modern world, way back in the 19th century, they were just covered with this strange runic script, a language that, well, nobody could read.
I mean, for over 1,000 years, these things just stood there, silent. Can you imagine? They saw entire empires rise and fall. And for the people who found them, the question was huge. Who on earth carved these things? And what story were they waiting to tell?
Well, answering that question kicked off this incredible intellectual race all across Europe. It was a full-on quest to crack the code of these runes and, just maybe, give a voice back to a totally lost civilization.
And let me tell you, this was not an overnight thing. The whole journey started way back in 1730 when a Swedish officer first noticed this weird script. But the real game changer, that came in 1889. A Russian ethnographer named Nikolai Yadrintsev just stumbles upon these massive monuments, way bigger than anything seen before. And that, folks, kicked off a total frenzy. You had competing teams from Finland and Russia rushing to the site, trying to make perfect copies. Once they had these detailed maps of the inscriptions, the stage was finally set. The race to crack the code was.
So, who's the hero of this story? It's a Danish linguist named Wilhelm Thomsen. And on a specific day, December 15th, 1893, after so many others had tried and failed, he's the one. He's the guy who finally cracked it and unlocked the language of the stones.
So, the big question is, how did he do it? Well, it was just a masterpiece of detective work, really. Thomsen's first big clue was that the monuments weren't just in one language. They had both Chinese characters and the mystery runes. Now, the Chinese text was readable, and it mentioned a Turkish prince. Right there, Thomsen had a theory. What if the runes were some kind of early Turkic language? So he started looking for words that would likely appear a lot. And this is the brilliant part. He managed to match recurring symbols to the Turkic words for Tengri, that's God, Turk, and the prince's name Kül Tigin. Boom. Those key words were basically his Rosetta Stone. From there, he unlocked the entire alphabet.
And just like that, with the code broken, the stones could finally speak after 1,000 years of silence. And the story they told? It was about a powerful, almost forgotten empire, the Göktürks.
Okay, so who were the Göktürks? I mean, these guys weren't just some small tribe. We're talking about a massive empire that ruled Central Asia. But like many great empires, they had a golden age and then they collapsed. They actually spent 50 years under the thumb of Tang China. But then a leader named Iltutmish Kağan basically rose from the ashes. Get this, he started his rebellion with just 17 men and managed to bring the empire back. And that's what these inscriptions are all about. It's the official, first-hand story of this resurrected empire, the Second Göktürk Khaganate.
Now, the story isn't just one long text. It's told across 3 huge monuments. The first one is from Tonyukuk, who was this brilliant elder statesman, kind of like their chief strategist. The second is a memorial that the ruler, Bilge Kağan, put up for his heroic younger brother, Kül Tigin. And the third? That's Bilge Kağan's own monument, his final message to his people. So you see, these aren't just dry historical records. They're deeply personal, highly political statements carved for eternity.
And the message itself, wow. It is so direct, it's part history, part eulogy, but more than anything, it's a political warning designed to last forever.
Yeah, you gotta understand. Bilge Kağan wasn't just talking to the people standing there at the time. He was speaking to the future. To us, really. He carved his advice into stone so it would never, ever be lost. He tells the story of their first great empire. He talks about why it all fell apart. And then he lays out a roadmap for how to not make the same mistakes again.
His warning kicks off with a really sharp observation about their powerful neighbor, Tang China. He starts by acknowledging the appeal, the attraction of their culture and all their goods.
But then he drops the hammer. He says that being tempted by foreign luxuries, by sweet talk and diplomacy, it's a trap. He's directly calling out his own people for being tricked, for trading away their freedom and their lives, for comfort and luxury. It is such a raw and powerful political statement, and it's just as relevant today.
So when you boil it all down, the Kağan's message is really about 2 big things. First, unity. He says again and again that the first empire collapsed because of fighting from within. Princes against princes, nobles against the ruler. That division is what made them weak. And the second thing, identity. He's practically begging future generations, don't give up your culture, your names, your way of life, just for some shiny foreign stuff.
And for him, the heart of that identity is a real place. It's the Utukin, this sacred, forested mountain land. It's not just territory, it's their spiritual center, their strategic heart. His point is clear, if you leave this place, you become weak. But if you stay, if you hold on to it, you will last forever as a free people.
So, okay, this was all carved into stone more than 1,250 years ago. Why should we care? Why does it still matter so much today? Well, for one, these inscriptions are just packed with historical firsts. And maybe the biggest one of all is right here. This is the very first time the name Turk ever appears written down in a Turkic language. Think about that.
It's literally the birth certificate of a people's written identity. But it doesn't stop there. This is the first history of the Turks, told by the Turks. It's their first great literary masterpiece. It's the founding document for studying their language. And that core message about unity, about identity, about the dangers of losing yourself, it's a timeless lesson in how to build a state and how to survive.
So, what a journey, right? These stones went from being just mysterious monuments in a remote valley, written in a language nobody understood, to becoming the foundational text for a nation's identity. A direct voice speaking to us from the heart of a lost empire.
Bilge Kağan's message was an urgent plea, a warning to learn from the mistakes of the past. And it really leaves us with a question that's bigger than just one empire, isn't it? History is full of warnings like this, literally set in stone. The real question is, are we listening?